Let's
Um,
just
I
have
love
be a
to
group
listen. I'll
convo.
stick around.
We got
yeah,
any?
yeah. I was gonna say we all can just like chill on the same call if you want.
Let's do it.
Okay. Luke, not Luke. David, do you want to introduce? Oh, is she going away?
She's back. I
You're
think
on
you can
mute.
introduce everybody. Danny,
You're on
welcome
mute
back to
now.
another local frequency podcast.
Hi, everybody. So welcome. Yeah, we are still playing around with stuff, with technology here.
I beg your pardon. There's
But
certain technologies that we've been playing with for a long time. Hi, Ara. How are you? It's nice to. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Is
It's
it
actually like Sarah. So if you think of Sarah, you'll know how to pronounce Era.
Era? It is. Fantastic.
Thank
Well,
you.
great to meet you. Thank you for giving us a little bit of time today. Danny, why don't you introduce everybody? Take it away.
sure. So we have Luke Roberts, who has is a musician, has a couple companies and a nonprofit, and is now doing a video broadcast, or maybe not broadcast, video. See, this is yeah.
We'll ask Luke.
All good. You're doing
A
great.
video course, a video something or other course. I don't know. And then we have Ara Casey, who is with us from This Could Go Boom. And their huge festival is this Saturday. So we're gonna talk to both of these people tonight. David's mind is blown, apparently.
No,
That I told him it's like 10 stages.
huge.
Um,
It's like 10 stages.
yes, some
Era, you have got to turn that microphone on.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm
Leave
fiddling
it
over
on,
here.
baby. Leave it on. You're like
So
on.
it's actually, I'm going to upgrade that number. It's actually throughout the week, 12 stages. On the day proper, it's 7 stages. It grew. Who
yeah.
knew?
So okay.
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic that it's there and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Oh, well, where should
So
we begin? Luke's got sort of a bright line with us where he's got to jump out in a little bit. So why don't we start
yeah.
with Luke? Luke, tell us a little bit about yourself for the crowd, because we know you so well. Luke is like a huge friend of the Alliance. He's an ally, even as if we were to say it as such that way. But introduce yourself to the crew and like those who are like keeping score at home, and let us know you're a very talented musical artist and you're into you make great videos for everyone in the community. Tell us your story.
Thanks, man. Yeah, great to meet you, Era.
Hi, Luke.
Yeah, so I'm Luke. I'm an indie pop and alternative rock artist. I do all sorts of music. I just released an album that kind of spans those little big genres, but also I go into like piano and orchestral stuff in there. There's some like anthemic stuff that kind of takes after my upbringing in the evangelical church, but I kind of left all that behind because I didn't feel like I found real truth there. And so there's a lot of things, but it still pulls from that part of my journey that was so core for a long time. And so that's kind of the big thing that I'm working on doing right now is getting my music out there. So posting a lot on TikTok and trying to do that consistently and post regular videos for my YouTube content. Danny, I think you're echoing here. Just heads up.
Yeah. Sorry, I was checking in to make sure we were live, and then I didn't mean to do all that. So sorry. Keep
Oh
going.
no, you're good. So yeah, just my journey started because I wanted to make my own really professional music content, video wise, and I was mainly inspired by groups like Tyler Ward, Voice Avenue, Sam Tsai, people that had these like amazing videos, and they were crushing it with their covers. And I just thought, man, if I could make stuff like that, I would be able to do great. And I think in a lot of ways, even though I loved music, I had a lot of imposter syndrome around my own singing, my own voice, definitely my own production. And so video was also a way to kind of like compensate for that, I think, to make me feel a little bit more comfortable putting my stuff out there if I had really great video. And either way, it ended up being something that I fell in love with, doing, film and making really cool cinematic, images for music videos. And as I was, doing more stuff within the live music scene, I wanted to do like concerts and stuff too. And obviously I knew that I needed cool stuff for, concerts. And so over time, as I started doing more of this stuff for my own content, people really liked it, and they started to ask me to film videos for them. And that turned into a little, business where they were like, hey, like, I'll pay you money, to do this. And I was like, sure, that sounds great. And at the time I was actually in grad school, getting my PhD at the University of Maryland, focused in mechanical engineering, robotics. So my papers were focused on autonomous navigation and aerobatics and flapping wing miniature aerial vehicles, or robotic birds.
As one does.
As one does, an average Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a thing. I know. That's great.
Right.
Chris, Da Vinci, Luke.
Yeah. Luke and Ardo. No, just kidding.
I like that.
But yeah, so I was doing that, and I just found that I became, progressively more unhappy as I was focusing on that. Even though I was good at math and science and stuff like that, my heart wasn't fulfilled, and I wasn't building a life where I was, feeling like this is what I'm meant to be doing. And so as I started doing more of my music stuff, which I've done since I was, 5 years old, and started doing video for people, I was eventually able to make that transition over to doing the video production as my full-time thing that covered the expenses and gave me enough to invest into my music, where I could pay other creatives to help me in that process, whether it was producers, mixing engineers, paying for Facebook ads, paying for, making terrible choices like paying for PR for my album release, stuff like that.
Stick a pin in that. We need to come back to that for like another show. We should be doing a show on like all the things we have learned about.
Oh man, that'd be great.
What not to do when releasing a record.
Oh yeah, I know so many things not to do.
That's it's okay. Anyway, back to you.
Yeah. So I started doing that a lot, and over time I started making more and more of these videos and just really enjoying it. And I've had to be very careful about prioritizing my own music stuff, and so I don't say yes to everything. So it's very easy as a creative or as a person in general, when something starts working, to be like, oh, well, like I'll keep doing this thing that's enabling me to do my dream without doing the dream. And your plan B becomes your plan A, right? Whatever you're doing to make it possible for your plan A to work becomes your real thing that you're doing with your life. And so I've worked really hard not to have that take up my whole life. And so I work, really diligently to regularly release music, to not be one of those people that like teaches other people how to do things and doesn't do those things, himself. So I'm, playing shows. I'm trying to solve the, financial challenges that come with that, being sustainable with your content, making your own content, posting daily. I've actually posted daily on TikTok the last 2 weeks, that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of what my focus is with it. There's different things I do. The types of video I shoot are mainly highlight reels of concerts, highlight reels of events. I also do like one takes of full concerts with a moving single angle. This is my holding the camera motion, where, I'll film the whole hour-long set with a moving one take, and the whole thing is good. So you can chop up every single song individually, and that way you get a ton of awesome songs, but it's not, a massive thing where there's 4 cameras and a lot of editing on the back end. It's a lot simpler, so it's a lot cheaper for artists. And then I also host events called Amplify. This is something I started a couple years ago, where I rent a studio for the day, and then I give artists 45-minute slots to come in and record content. And we do similar types of one-take angles, so there's no editing after. And we do studio level audio, and it's, live mixes. So they're not exactly perfect studio quality where everything's, auto-tuned and everything, but that's part of the point of this, is to get real live content and to support the live music community with what we're really doing, and do it with the best lighting and the best audio production that we can, while fitting it within a budget. Because by doing everything within that 45-minute slot and just doing a live mix, we can really cut the rate, because we can fit 8 to 10 artists in on a day. And so instead of doing $1,000 for a shoot for a video, and then more for audio, it'll be $250 for an artist to come in and get one video, and that includes the audio. Same thing for bands. It's just a little bit more expensive. It's, $500 a song. But still, like, you're really getting like crazy quality stuff. And it's that one take moving angle. And I think it's even better, in my opinion, than multiple angles. It's cheaper and it's more dynamic and more organic. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Right now, I'm teaching people how to make their own content in a course that I'm launching called iPhone Video Rockstar. And so that's available. Actually, I guess when this podcast was live, that will be done with the workshop. But if anybody reaches out to me directly, I can always, give them access to that. But basically teaching people how to film really high quality videos for their music with just their iPhone. So, and this is something that I do. Like, I don't tell people to shoot their content on their iPhone and then go and shoot my stuff on a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K, right? I shoot all my stuff on my iPhone because I really do believe that it's like amazing and it's really good. And it's also a lot easier to use than one of those big cameras. It's a lot easier to set up. It's way more, battery lasts longer. Like, everything is better about that thing outside of some extreme situations, where, you don't really have to shoot content in those situations. Like if you have like really like a lot of light in one area and like no light in the other, and you need detail in both. Without getting into the weeds too much, that's the big thing I'm focused on right now is pushing that. And because I really think that as a content creator, as a videographer, or so as a musician, you have to be able to make your own content long term. Obviously, I'd love it if you paid me thousands of dollars every month to make you lots of content, but that's not sustainable. And I think that to really serve the community, and as an artist myself, I think I need to give other people the tools to be able to do that. And this course gives them everything that they need to do to be able to follow my process to make the videos, the same way that I make them, for their YouTube channel, for their TikToks, and have really high quality, imagery for that.
Yeah. It's such a struggle to come up with something to do. Right. And it's like the other thing that's, as we look at like what the social media practices are too and stuff like that, it's like the tiny clips. The idea that you would do like a whole song, the different channels, like where do you go with YouTube to play like a whole thing? But then again, on Instagram or on TikTok, it's only like, dude, 20 seconds and you might as well like be cooking a sandwich or something like that. It's like it takes forever through it.
Well,
So
the platforms are definitely different, but TikTok does have longer form content now. You can do up to 10 minutes and people will watch a lot longer. The thing is, because there's so much competition on there and there's so much high quality content in terms of people providing value to others, it's just very easy for people they have to decide really quickly if they're going to watch something. And then they're continually deciding throughout that video, is this still providing me value? And if the answer is no at any point, they're just going to skip, And so that's where there is a difference in terms of posting a YouTube video that's, longer, where if people are there, they're watching a binge of music videos, then great. But if you're on TikTok, you're not really looking for like the next music video, right? You're looking for something else that's going to provide value to you. And I think that in general, us as artists are typically very bad at knowing what that is and then intentionally creating content around that. And the journey to being able to do that effectively, I think is, it's simple, but it's not easy, and it's not intuitive, and it doesn't always feel like what you wanted your journey to look like.
This is, you're great. This is like a true story for me, right? Like I will post, I started like doing Instagram, YouTube, whatever videos like during the pandemic, like sitting down, whatever. And sometimes it's like 12 people watch it, right? Sometimes it's like a few hundred people watch it, whatever, and it's like, the things, and you can see where they drop out, right? They usually tend to drop out about 20 seconds in. So I know that if I'm like playing guitar, like, douchebag on the couch, acoustic guitar video, right? Which is actually like I'm either like one step above douchebag on the couch or one step below, because I have a looper. So that makes me even more douchey or less douchey. I don't know.
You can loop the douche.
I don't know. That's not a scale we use.
And it's when I'm playing the Beach Boys, it's like a little douche loop is really what it comes down to. Thank you very much.
I think you've met your douche capacity on this call.
No. It's trust me, there's so much more douche that's available here. It's like
Please explain it
the
to me,
podcast for
David.
like when you don't feel as fresh. You just want to like be on this like situation. But as all that to say, the greatest TikTok viral hit that I have ever had, not TikTok, Instagram, because I don't do the talk. I'm too old. They don't like me there. But like, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
on Instagram, the greatest thing I ever did was I cut a tin can in half with a Ginsu knife that was like 30 years old. I shit you negative, like 600,000 views, and it's still out there moving around. Do you know how many subscriptions this has gotten me though, and followers? Zero. Nobody has come to listen to my music at all. It's like that's the drag. But if you want to be successful, cut a tin can in half and you will go viral. It's like it's where it's at. But I do see the guys. It's like, and there's like artists too who talk about this all the time. It's like if I have the gimmick video works. One of the guys who we'd love to talk to here. Do you know who Fulton Lee is? He's like over in Baltimore. He does some of the most amazing content, and we call it content because it really is content, right? He goes out into like, in the inner harbor, he sets up, he's got his like powder blue suit on, and he like plays this like crazy white boy funk soul music, and he makes
Yep.
people
Yep.
so happy, right? But it's shtick. It's like Mark Rebier. It's like shtick, It's like, and it's almost like the idea that I'm like gonna make this like huge art album. It's like, nah, whatever. If I was juggling guitars, a million people are gonna watch it, right? But if I'm gonna sit here and like
Yeah.
play a sensitive thing, nobody's gonna watch it.
Well, that's the thing is like, but if you think about the value that you're delivering in those two pieces of content, right? What is it? So in the piece where you're just playing guitar and singing, the value is not really immediately clear to people. And so when they're swiping, right, they're probably just going to swipe on by because what they're used to is high quality content in their mind, something they're going to get value from, right? That's the same thing. It's very obvious right away that they're going to get value from a video. Now they don't even necessarily know what that they're not consciously aware of this dynamic or what's making it be that way. There's just certain patterns that they have come to associate with value that's coming to them when they watch the content, right?
I know.
So
I'm the
this
same
is like,
way.
right, exactly. So like having a good hook, if you're like, these are my top 3 bacon cheddar biscuit recipes, like automatically I'm in, right? Like, so then, and that's
I want to
great.
hear those recipes. Actually, I mean, you got me. I'm hooked. I want
Right. I just made that up, but I would love
I
to
want
know.
to do that.
So now I got to look this up. But so that is huge if you can immediately kind of tell people that here's the value you're going to get. It's a lot harder with music, and but in the second one where you're juggling all this stuff, the value is novelty, right? The value is, oh my God, I've never seen this before, or what they call the purple cow effect, right? If you saw a purple cow on the side of the road, you took a video of it, you post it online, people are like, oh my God, this is completely new. I've never seen this before. It's a purple cow, right? So people are going to absolutely love that, and they're going to watch it. They're going to share it because novelty is value. But in the case of there's a million people that are playing the guitar and singing, and it's not matching any of those other markers where it's telling them what the value is, people are much more likely to skip, especially if there's no social proof in terms of likes, shares, saves, and stuff like that. But there's also all these little markers like is the lighting decent? Is the video super grainy? Is the audio, bad? Is this person cringe or whatever, right? There's things like that they look at and they make this decision. And cringe is not always objective, right? Some of that is like contextual. Like if a lot of people liked it, all of a sudden it's not cringe anymore. But that's it's all
But
these
it's
kind
still
of things that
douchey.
factor together.
It's like it's cringe but douche is really where it.
Well, and this is where like finding the way for like what is the group that's going to like that, and how do you also make sure that the way that you're creating content is really like the best version of you? Because sometimes what you actually end up presenting online is not the best version of you. It's not even a true version of you. It's like a filtered version of you that you think you're supposed to present or that you maybe want to be. Like, I think I've done this a lot is like, I'll make content and like it looks great image quality wise, but it's not really providing a lot of value necessarily to the people that are watching. And it's not the most me. Like if I'm just your friend in general life, how do I talk to you? How do I engage with you? What are the things that we talk about? And am I just constantly showing up as this person that's like dressed in like black leather and like emotionally singing songs all the time? Like, no, that's not what that is. And TikTok is a platform that's looking for that type of connection. with people. And so it's not that you can't share your other stuff. You just have to contextualize it within a much more relatable frame that is also more quickly telling the person the value that they're going to get from it, and then holding them in that value and delivering on that promise. And then you have to really post consistently. Like I've posted, like the last 2 weeks, I've posted consistently, and I've gotten way better results in terms of comments and engagement. I even had like 8 people sign up for my email list this week simply because of TikTok. So, you know, and earlier today, I was literally designing a page because I realized if they're signing up for the mailing list, right after that, it should take them to my merch page so they could watch, they could buy some merch if they wanted to with some store credit, you know? So like having that stuff going, you know, works. And if you're really posting consistently, you can start to get people engaged. I mean, I had probably, I don't know, I had like 30 comments from people around the world that were just commenting where they were listening from, because I followed like a simple trend that I saw going around that indie artists were doing that was getting some traction. Thought I'll just try this with my song, threw some photos up there, and it was like, you know, to the 23 people liking my post, and then it swiped to the next picture. I want to know where you're from, you know, swipe to the next picture, leave a comment down below, you know, and like people did it. I was really surprised. So there's, you know, that's like the value there is the engagement, all right, and the discovery of a new song and that connection.
Right.
So yeah.
Stuff I see now is that the sends, the forwards and the shares tend to bounce the algorithm more than anything else. So it really is that. It's like the you got to see this signal to the algorithm is what really like sends it up. So if you have a posse, you know, get into like a little circle and send your content to each other and like, you know, try and like auto bot it and like make it go.
So that'll do some of it, but that won't get you very far. I've actually done this exact thing. I built up a whole texting list, a whole email list, and like the goal is like send it out to those people, get that initial sort of social proof, and then when it gets pushed out to more people, they'll give it a chance. And I've not found that to be successful. But also the algorithms are always changing. And so while I do think that the shares and everything are valuable and the saves are valuable, my understanding right now is that there's essentially an AI that's determining whether or not your content is going to be valuable, and it's deciding whether or not to push that content out. And so it's less about like social media now and more about like interest media. This is a Gary Vaynerchuk thing that he's been talking about recently, where the AI is figuring out what category does this fit into and who should I show this to? And if it can really match it, then it'll push it.
Right.
But outside of that, you know, you're probably going to get 10, 20 views, which is what, you know, a lot of my videos have been getting. But every once in a while, it'd go up to like 400. Now, like I got one with 800. And actually just today before this, I posted one. I don't know how it's doing because I'm using my phone for this, but it was really crushing it. It actually was on track to do better than any of the other ones. Get a lot more, you know, comments and likes and stuff. And who knows? But yeah, I've been posting consistently, doing what I'm supposed to do finally. And I'm hoping that it continues. So it's always a journey, and you never know where it's going to end up.
It's an amazing thing. What would you say your ratio? I mean, it may not be fair because you like have so many like hustles to put it all together, but this is one of the things that we think about at like the Alliance is, and that's how I do it now, Danny. It's the Alliance.
Yeah, our name's too long, so go for it. Whatever you want to call us.
Alliance. But here at the Alliance with our allies,
I like that.
Like it's like when we come back, I think about like what is your ratio of music to everything else? Right?
That's
like
funny.
and then when we talk about like, so as I talk about like our organization, why does it exist? Like what are we doing? What are the problems we have to solve? Well, we talk about like the portal/platform that like, you know, we're creating, and we're always creating because we're always working on it. It's like, what is the job that it's going to do? And when I talk to people, you know, and I joke with Danny that like one of these days her platform is going to change the oil in my car, because it's like every time I talk to her, there's like another feature that's like she wants to like build into it and stuff. And I'm like, just get the thing, just do it, whatever. But it's like when I think about like where is the value, what's the problem to be solved, right? Where do we get people more time to make more music and listen to more music is really what it's about. Like when I boil it all the way down, I'm like, okay, look, it bores me. The idea of like I'm gonna like create something every day and it is what it takes for me to like go above it. I'm like, I'm a Rick Rubin. I'm like, I do this for me. Whether somebody else
Yeah.
listens to it or not, fine. Like, that's fine. If it never makes it out of my living room, fine. I don't care. I play music for myself. Anyone else who listens to it is fantastic. If it goes viral one day, great. My as a songwriter, if somebody else covers one of my songs, that's my dream scenario at this point in my career, right? I don't want to be doing that stuff. But for other
Yeah.
people who I talk to, it's like, okay, I'm in this to like make music. And what it used to be back in my day was we would draw like a flyer, we'd take it to like the copy shop, and then we'd go up and we'd like pin it up all over town. And that was us
Right.
promoting our work, right? Maybe we would make a cassette and we would like walk to the local record store and say, hey, could we sell this on the counter with your local music thing, right? And they'd be like, yeah, sure, fine. And that was all that you could do, right? Today, I think the ratio of like music to other stuff, it's like 95 to 5 when I really
Yeah.
think it's like when I look at all of my friends who are out there doing it, it's like I'm making this post and it takes me like hours to put this post together, right? It's like I'm
Yeah.
doing this, it's like I'm making phone calls, I'm sending emails, I'm making my own list. And it's always the part of it that I bring back is like back in the day when everyone was like, back when vinyl was fantastic and everybody made all the money before the streaming took it all away. And I'm like, I don't know
Mhm.
if you know this or not. The standard record deal, the real record deal for if you were signed, you got $1 out of every 16.99 album
Yeah.
was there after the label had made its expenses back, right?
Right.
And that dollar, if you're in a band of 5 people and you have an agent, that dollar is split between all of you, right? So it's like
Yep.
that's what you got. Why is it then? Well, it costs some money to like make a tape. It costs some money to drive it around. It costs some money to do all this stuff, but it's that 95. All of that marketing work was done by an A&R team. All of that
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
was done. The label provided all of those services to get all of that stuff done, and which gave everybody a lot of time to fly around in their jet and like, do drugs and have a great time. But it's like that's like now we're all doing that ourselves. We're all
Yep.
a label of one, right? And it's like it's
Yeah.
brutal. 'Cause what do you do? When do you want to sit down and write that new song? When do you want to like come up with that creative moment and like carve that time out in your day? If you're 95% to 1%, like where's your time? I need 20 minutes
Yep.
to just practice my guitar today. Like, where do I find that time? It starts to really suck. And I think that that's
Yep.
when I think of the problem that we need to solve right now, it's not the streaming royalties, right? It's not, it's that I have to go to like 12 goddamn different websites every day to get what I need to get done. And I still only get like 2 followers, right? It's
Yeah.
like, that's the drive.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, it's interesting because I do think it's probably less than 10% of my time that I spend on music. And it's not because there isn't enough time to spend on the music at all. It's that I'm too exhausted from like rapid task switching and doing too many other things. And then when I do the music stuff, I have to face like my own imposter syndrome around this stuff. And there's all this growth I have to do with that too. It's like there's a lot that has to go into that aspect of it. But the flip side of that is that while it is incredibly difficult to manage all those things, the tools are now there such that we can, and that means that we have the power over our own careers, where before we were completely powerless over our own like success, right? We had zero control because somebody else could just, it was all in their hands whether or not they took us on in the first place, whether or not they kept pushing us long term. Because a lot of the time they would shelve you either because you didn't work out, or sometimes they would sign you simply to shelve you because you were becoming successful enough that you were competing with one of their other artists, right? And so that creates a big problem. And so I think there's a lot more people that now have the potential to be successful because there's lots of great music.
Yeah.
But there's only a certain number of people that are going to be able to solve that problem of becoming the kind of person that can do enough of these other things to be able to be successful with the marketing, the back end business stuff, managing their time, making the content. And I think while it is really challenging, I don't think of it as a negative thing because there's way more artists now that will be successful than there were back then because the chance is there, right? The challenge becomes you have to focus on becoming a lot more than just a musician. And so
Right.
you have to, there's a lot more growth that you have to embrace and really honestly become excited about. And if you can't become excited about it, it's going to be a lot harder to be successful in this world of music and where it is today, which we just don't have any control over exactly what that looks like. It's like when Spotify came out. Well, you just had to adapt. You couldn't say, well, people should just still buy albums. Now, people actually do. If you direct market to them, they still do buy albums, but
Yeah.
not in general, and definitely not in the same way that they used to.
But when we had the records, like back in the Punic Wars, when I was out there, like running around. It's true. I was there with Sparta. It was happening.
Stonehenge, yeah.
But like, yeah, Stonehenge, when we were carving our records with chisels in stone, it was like we still sold them off the back of the van. I mean, it was like you played the gig and you sold your records. It's the same as showing up today with like your CDs and whatever. I mean, we could talk about all of those changes forever and stuff, but it's an interesting space to be in where it just does keep changing. What I think about all the time when it comes to it, it again, the need for that social media to tie it back, it's the discovery problem. Right. Like, what is the discovery of it? Used to be that like those dudes who like dropped the like records off from the labels and said play this on the radio and stuff like that. There was like a back channel thing, but now that's all direct to us too. And it's one of the great stats that I bring out with people when they're complaining about stuff, and why I love music today in this like market is I love jazz, right? And jazz and classical music represent each 1% of all record sales always. Right. It's like in the 1940s, jazz was like 90% of record sales, right? Because it was like the popular music, right? But then like rock and roll shows up and it changes. Today, jazz records 1% of all record sales, right? But like if you go like out on Spotify now, right? There are hundreds of jazz artists of all different scopes and all different kinds. And those guys would have never gotten a record deal. And without Spotify, they would never have made it out of their living rooms. But I can because of
and a lot of them are making bank. Like they're doing really well. As much as Spotify gets like such a bad rap because they only pay 0.3 cents per stream, which like I agree, like it could be higher. I would rather pay Spotify more money, like double the price of Spotify. I would still pay it. Most people still would, because we don't have another good solution that's cheaper. If you just doubled the royalties, for the artists, and you could do more than double if you doubled the price of Spotify. But like the fact that you can reach so many more people with Spotify and get literally millions of monthly listeners, the fact that that's even possible on your own, it means that way more artists are going to be doing that. And like if you have 1 million monthly listeners, the bare minimum that they stream one of your songs is one time per month. That alone is $4,000 a month. So even if you had like, and people probably stream your song like 4 times a month, like one of your songs, they probably do 4 streams a month. So you're probably making $4,000 a month off of 250,000 monthly listeners. Even if you're not making that, that's still even $1,000 a month is substantial. It's harder to get there because artists don't want to learn how to really market the music. They easily get discouraged. I'm talking as one that gets easily discouraged from this type of thing when you don't have very much money and you constantly feel like it, and you're not maybe great with managing your money, right? Maybe you didn't get taught how to do that well. You don't have any wealthy, people supporting your music. And so you don't have the dollars to pour into that to like really make the mistakes. And all the mistakes that you do make investing money are really painful. And so it's difficult to really continue to believe that it's possible. But if you consistently, release music, you have to learn how to kind of self-produce most of the way, at least, to do that. The distribution is not expensive. And then you do strategic collaborations with other people. And then you commit to daily free content posting on TikTok. It doesn't have to be anything intense. I'm literally just copying what other people do right now and making it my own, playing it with my own song, my own photos, and that's it. These are not like
so inappropriate
photos all the time, and that gets some traction. And so you just have to do that consistently. And that's where like the whole thing is becoming the type of person that can really do that. I think is the biggest challenge by far, because we are not, in our day and age, I don't think we're building ourselves into like superhumans, because that takes embracing suffering and difficulty and really making that like, and seeing and believing that that is the path to excellence and to becoming really competent and at things.
Well, okay, we got to get over to Ara, and I know you got to go because you got like amazing like rock star things that you got to get done, and all that. What's coming up next for you? Give us a little like what's a preview of like what's happening for in Luke world like in the next couple of months.
Yeah. So right now, my big focus is definitely just trying to go viral on TikTok through daily posting. I've got a coach that's helped me with that. It's providing some accountability and support, reviewing some of my content from time to time, helping me keep my mindset. I'm focusing on, daily practice for my singing and really pushing this course, over the next couple weeks, trying to get a lot more shoots, as well for the video stuff. I've got a big shoot coming up down in Nashville. That's probably the biggest shoot I've ever done. Definitely the biggest, budget. And the guy has like a lot of like A-list players that are playing on his record, which is really exciting. So I get to work with some people like that and hopefully, continue that and finding a way as I'm out here in Montana, to make more revenue out here. Because as my fiance and I are trying to, make life work long-term, close to her parents here and close to my parents in Maryland, I need to be able to have business here and back home. And so trying to build up all that stuff and manage all that, is challenging for sure. But I'm excited to do that and to collaborate with a number of more artists. So lots more music that I'm trying to release this year as well. And I'm excited to kind of, see where that goes. So I really appreciate you having me. Thanks for the opportunity.
We appreciate you, man. And we'll be talking again soon. It's where it's at. I'm parched. I've, been talking so much. I'm gonna let Danny talk to Ara here about the Things Can Go Boom festival. Let's go boom. Get the boom. And if you need to jump out, man, thank you so much for showing up. And we'll talk again real soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I could stick around. Ara, it's great to meet you. Sorry we didn't get to really chat at all. I know I talk a lot. But I'd love to catch up with you.
I wonder.
I love what you're doing. I really do. The resource sharing and the knowledge sharing is really important to build community. And so I love that you've taken energy and time away from your music to actually do that. So maybe we'll connect from one terrapin to another. Thanks for what you're doing. And
yeah,
to connect later.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll shoot you an email. Maybe we can hop on our call and connect.
Sounds good. Be well.
Awesome. See you guys.
All right. Thanks, Luke.
Thanks, Danny. Bye.